Buck?
All good. All right, good to see everybody. Thank you for being here for another year. We appreciate you guys covering our program, and thank you for telling the stories of our players and this team, Team 124 in the history of Ohio State basketball. So we're excited to get the season started here. This is, preseason is talking season, but it's really about the work, the quiet, lonely work here. So we're excited to get started with that. I'll go ahead and open it for questions here.
Go ahead and start.
Yeah, Coach, I think everyone's wondering about Justice, obviously missing all but 2 games last season. He told me that he feels like he's 110%, that he's even better than he was the last time Buckeye fans got to see him. Where is he in his progress in coming back, and do you think he can be the player that he was before or even better?
Well, the last time we saw him, he wasn't real good. That was Akron. He struggled in that particular game. So I think Justice looks great. He looks great, and he is healthy. I think he's a young man who's anxious. He's anxious to get out there. He's anxious to be healthy, and he really wants to stay healthy. And for a kid like him who had a whole season taken away from him, with the exception of that one game, you really want it for him. He was a really important part of our team that was a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament and had a good year, and he was going to be a really, really important part of last year's team. So he'll be a captain. We're excited about what he's going to be.
In terms of the freshman class, obviously, like on paper, in terms of the rankings, it's your best class that you've had at Ohio State. But I'm wondering, beyond just that, now that you've had time with them, what else kind of stands out about them and makes them maybe special compared to groups past?
Yeah, I think we have four freshmen that are all going to they're all going to play. They're all going to play a role in this group for sure. Bruce, Roddy, Bryce, and Felix are all capable of helping this team and playing. They'll go through some ups and downs. They'll have some challenges, but all 4 are going to play. You're going to see them a part of every game for sure, and we're excited about that. We're excited about the potential of that group for sure.
We're right next to Rob Waller.
Chris, along those lines, how much do you have, you've been through this before, how much do you have to gear it back when you have those 4 coming in? Do you have to just go fundamentals?
Yeah. It's been more than we've ever had to do, to be real honest with you. Maybe with the exception of our first year when we were implementing a different, coaching style, a different system. But it's been more than I've ever had to do, with this number of young guys. And it's not just that they're young guys, they're young guys that we're going to count on to play. So I think speeding up their development, we were just talking about it in film. There are things that probably we can't see right now even that are going to happen in games, and we're going to scratch our heads and say, where did that come from? Well, it's an experience. And you try to project and get ahead and see as much as you can some of the things that are going to come up, but we know there's going to be moments that are going to be head scratching with those, just the general inexperience that those 4 are going to have. But if we can play them through that early in the year, we're excited about what it can be.
Is that what keeps you up at night? I mean, at this level, you don't have the luxury of, when you have these guys coming in, of them just sort of biding time, right? And they've got to play and play well right away. What's that like as a coach?
They do. I think, right now the focus is trying to get them ready. So I'm not thinking necessarily about, opening night as much as just getting them ready. But yeah, I've not coached a team that's probably counted on 4 freshmen as much as this group is going to. Again, there are some real positives to that. And, what can we grow into? If we encounter some bumps along the way, what can we grow into? But I think there's a mixture of feelings. There's certainly some anxiety, but there's some excitement too.
We're going to let Glenn
The uptick you've had in recruiting,
Yeah.
You guys gotten better at it? Is it proof in the pudding? Is it a couple guys in the NBA? Is it NIL? But you're stacking it now.
I would say it's a combination of all of those, maybe with the exception of NIL. I think we'll see that in the beginning part, but That's not been promised to any recruit. I think the uptick in recruiting has been really a collaborative work. I think we have a tremendous staff, and I would begin with that. I think we have a staff that has really worked at it. Listen, Clay, I'd be lying if I said that the NBA's success of two guys being drafted, Dwayne also being in the NBA right now, didn't play a role. It's played a major role. It was certainly a question. You're always going to get that question from recruits. Who have you as a head coach and as a staff produced in terms of draft picks or first-round draft picks? So the success of Malachi and EJ being a 3-year guy, Malachi being a one and done, no question plays a role. But I also don't want to minimize the tremendous effort of our staff. And you're right, it's clear that this class on campus and the one we hope to sign here in a few weeks is the best it's been. It's exciting.
You talk about the freshmen, but this is just a young team all around, because you walked into the locker room with only 2 players that have ever put on a Buckeye jersey, and Suing, I guess, did, but he didn't play last season.
Yeah.
What is that like, and where is this team?
Well, I think it's to be determined. Like I said, this is, I could sit here and talk, but this is really about the quiet, lonely work of every day and figuring that out and growing together. We certainly did some of that this summer, but we're still defining what our group's going to be like. And I think more than any team I ever had, that'll be defined and will probably be pretty fluid as the year goes on, provided we can stay healthy. And that has certainly been a question with our group. I think the evolvement of this group, how this group evolves, can be really exciting. But I think we're determining that on a day-to-day. We'll see how this group works over an extended period of time, and perhaps in a month or two I'll have a better answer.
With this world of the transfer portal, and not just losing players but gaining them, do you think this is kind of the future of college basketball, walking into a new locker room every year? And how much does that change your coaching staff?
Yeah, what I would tell you is most of college basketball has realized what I think sports world is starting to realize with college football. Listen, the transfer portal has been the transfer portal for years for college basketball. It just has been, there's been an uptick in the last 10 years. I talked to coaches on the road, they have 11 and 12 new players, and I talked to an SEC coach who's got 11 new players. He had 10 new players last year. It's not unique to any specific program. It is the way the sport is now and probably will continue to be. And that's why I appreciate you guys being here, because you get a chance to share the stories of this new group, 3 transfers and a bunch of freshmen. And hopefully our fans can embrace them, because they're a fun group to be around.
With all those new faces, you do have a lot of versatility, it seems like, on this group. And I wonder, when you look at defensively trying to shore up some of the lapses last year,
Yeah.
how much of the versatility of this team was planned because you were trying to get better at that end of the court?
Big part of it, Adam. We have not been good enough defensively the last 2 years. We have just not. We have not been good enough. And I think we have been tremendous offensively. We've been really, really efficient. The numbers would back that up. 2 top 15 teams offensively, but we have not been good enough defensively, and we weren't good enough on the glass either last year. So you combine those 2 things, and there's inevitably a ceiling. So I think a little more athleticism, more versatility, a little more length at the rim. I think were all things that we needed to address. Because certainly you cannot have a poor offense. You got a ceiling if you have a poor offense, for sure. That's the reality. And just like it is in college football and college basketball now, you have to be able to score. But we need to have considerably more balance in terms of what our numbers have been. And for 3 of our 5 years, we have been very good defensively. We just have not been the last 2 years.
And then offensively, with a new, offensive coordinator, however you want to call Jake's role, compared to having Ryan doing so much of the offense, guys have talked about wanting to play faster. You've got a freshman point guard that's going to play a lot of minutes. Well, offensively, how different could this look with some new input there at that end?
Yeah, I think we are more versatile. We have a number of guys kind of in the middle of what you would say your lineup, those 2, 3, 4 positions that are pretty interchangeable. And their skill sets differ some, but they all can dribble, pass, and shoot. They to varying degrees, and they give us a bit of athleticism there. We have a couple bigger guards. A guy like Roddy and Ice are bigger guards. Obviously, Bruce is a man at a young age. But I think that versatility is really critical for us and been critical for us, both defensively and offensively. We do not have, the elite scoring right now of a 19-point scorer like EJ was. We're hoping some guys can grow. So we'll have to have that, I think, with a mixture of guys and perhaps more balance across the board.